Here are 20 valuable lessons I have learned, often the hard way, through my 20 years of existing on planet Earth. For someone objectively so young, I have been through quite the mill. Most of it I would not wish on anyone, but I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. My housemate is so abusive. At the same time, I did kind of put myself at risk of certain situations happening to me. For example, moving to London on my own to pursue a business idea in the most competitive niche, and then proceeding to refuse to get a job because I wanted to make it work. Yeah, so those kinds of things I did kind of put myself at risk for. But let's get on with the 20 lessons that I've learned. Hopefully you learn from my mistakes. I'm not saying I know everything. Obviously, most people don't actually know. We all don't know everything. It's impossible to know everything. Number one, everything comes down to just wanting to be happy at the end of the day. We are just seemingly taught a load of things that need to be done or that we should do in order to make us happy. But at the end of the day, all we want to do is be happy. 2, most advice that is on the internet or in books are just an endless regurgitation of books in the past or teachings from the past as well. It's all just a big regurgitation parceled up into many different things. Reading those original books, I don't know, like a lot of the self-help books, for example, on the internet these days generally come from a lot of philosophers and a lot of older business teachings. It's just all of the same information, just told in a different way. 3, no one has your back as much as you do, and don't underestimate that. Number 4, it is really normal to have people go in and out of your life. Letting people go is often necessary for your own growth, and it's really, I've spent a lot of my life worrying because I would obsessively overthink that there's something wrong with me, but in actual fact, it's really normal for people to go in and out of your life. And as a general rule, I say to myself, if someone isn't adding value in one way or another to your life, just why are you having them in your life? Whether it's having fun, whether it's helping you to bounce ideas off, whether it's traveling, whether it's just a friend to confide in who is a really good listener. Just, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my notes. Number 5, holding expectations for a career, a project, a relationship, a friendship, anything holding expectations for like an event or a person is quite dangerous, because it often leads to disappointment depending on how high your expectations are in general. I know mine are extremely high. It's really not always a good idea. Chasing, it's kind of like chasing an illusion. A donkey's like on a treadmill and it's got a carrot dangling in front of it. It never reaches the carrot. That's the kind of thing that's like, if you hold expectations for things, you're gonna be always trying to chase this illusion and make yourself really disappointed and unhappy and unmotivated in the process, because you just can't control external circumstances or how people react to you. No matter how hard you try to line things up, in life, no matter how hard you try to line things up, Number 6, travel to explore and not to escape. I know a lot of people, including myself, who would go book a traveling trip and just go with the intention of trying to escape your problems, but instead of doing that, the problems just follow you, but 2, try to explore, just get curious, and often with curiosity you'll find a lot more enjoyment anyway. Number 7, and this is quite important, it's to know who you're talking to. Who you're talking to, the company you're with, trying to act like you know a lot on a topic that those people will approve of. For example, I don't know, if you're at a business networking event and you are very new to business, yet you're surrounded by people who are a lot more experienced than you, and you're trying to kind of impress them or trying to seem on their level by appearing like you have a lot more knowledge than you have, is pretty stupid. All these things I'm listing is from personal experience. So when you're surrounded by people who are a lot more experienced in different things, sometimes it's better to just listen rather than try to word vomit and try to act smart, because you can learn a lot. Number 8, something more lighthearted. Dancing is always gonna make you feel good, even if you are really bad at it. Number 9, there's a lot of bullshit out there social media has made this just horrendously worse. It's like turned into this unconscious competition and self-sabotaging place sometimes when you're using it unconsciously. It's just not a great way to spend your time and energy when you're constantly comparing yourself to people. It's very easy to just spread a lot of misinformation, especially if you have a big following, being like online entrepreneurs, and they give a lot of information that just they're not qualified to give. So just be very careful with information on this social media and also how you use social media in general. I personally deleted Instagram 4 days ago for the first time since I was like 12, so yeah, that's gonna be another video probably. Number 10, not everything is gonna work out and you just gotta accept it. You can't control external circumstances, how things are gonna turn out. Being attached to the outcome is just never a good idea. So you've just got to accept that things probably aren't going to turn out the way you expect them to. Number 11, taking a walk in the forest is also always a good idea. Getting away from the busyness, the hustle, you're never going to regret a walk in the forest, even if you think you absolutely hate nature. I don't know if it's possible for any animal or human to hate nature, considering it's the natural world where we have evolved up into. Number 12, know your limits. Don't keep overworking yourself if you feel like you're burning out. Don't keep staying in a relationship if you are getting abused. Don't keep staying in an environment that is just really detrimental to your own mental and physical health. Just know your limits and stick by them. You'll be a much healthier and happy person for it. Number 13, most humans don't know their own inner voice. This sounds pretty out there, wild, abstract. We don't know what our own inner voice says because there is so much noise out there. We all shape our thoughts, our ideas, our beliefs based on what we think and have seen is making people happy, is making people successful, and what is this new trend? What is this new thing that's going to make me successful really quickly? Without actually asking themselves, what is it that I want to do? We think we are unsure about what we want to do, but deep down we really do know what we want to do, but we just don't listen to it. Like, we think, oh, this idea is never going to make me money. This thing is never going to make me successful. This thing, people will think that I'm really weird. The thing is, why waste your life doing something you think you should do just because it's gonna look good or make you successful? Because is that gonna make you happy? Is that gonna make you fulfilled? I don't know, it's up to you. But we really don't listen to our own inner voices, and we tend to now find it really hard to differentiate what our inner voice is compared to what is all the noise out there. I know I struggle with that. Okay, number 14. Too many chefs ruin the soup. Asking for advice is great until you have way too much advice that you don't even know which one to do, because people will have different perspectives on different things, different problems. They all have their own ways of solving it and getting from point A to B. There is just going to be an abundance of advice, so you just got to kind of choose which one that you want rather than constantly asking how to get out of a situation or how to get to a situation. Just do it. Stop asking and try to take some initiative. Number 15, letting go of obsessively trying to control your life. Taking responsibility, but not overly obsessing and stressing about trying to control things. Taking choices as they come along rather than just trying to micromanage everything, and getting into a more flow state, or wu wei, which is a philosophy of, I think it's Japanese, I'm not too sure, but it's pretty good. Look it up. Taoism. 16. We are one drip in an ocean. We are no more significant than an oyster at the bottom of the ocean. We don't fundamentally matter. And this is really hard for some people to accept, but we really don't. We are a part of something so much damn bigger than ourselves, and that in its turn is freedom to some people, because it means, well, I don't matter, so it doesn't matter what I do, obviously, like, within reason. But on the other hand, some people find that really restrictive and thinking, I don't matter, like, oh my god, I don't matter, and then going to have into like an existential crisis. I would suggest the former of those two. Yeah. Number 17. No matter how much you've been messed up in the past, it's all about how you deal with the problems is what counts. Two people can be presented with exactly the same problem or life crisis and can handle it in totally different ways. One person can maybe really be destructive and make it shape their rest of their lives in a negative way, maybe avoid any situation that reminds them of that. The other person could work through it and move on and take lessons from it. Like, it's all about how you deal with it that matters, no matter how bad the situation is. Even though it is really often hard, it's not as easy as just saying that. Number 18, just get financially literate. Knowing how finance works, how money works, how to invest, how to save properly, how to manage your money. Just get financially literate. 19. Often, I don't know if this is just for me, but often if I get less than 7 hours of sleep a night, I am a zombie the rest of the day, no matter what I try to do. Even if I think it's a really good idea to stay up super late, even if I have to wake up early, it's never a good idea. Just prioritize sleep. Sleep is just important. You've heard it probably a million times if you're watching this video right now, because this is a very like self-helpy video, but sleep is important. And I know that if I don't get enough sleep, I am dead to the world the rest of the day. Number 20. Don't try and focus on too many things at once, especially if you have ADHD. Allowing yourself to get distracted by so many things that don't really matter. Yeah, it's just important to make sure you don't get caught up on things that may look appealing, but really don't matter. And so your focus is so broad and you're not getting results on that one thing that you want to get results on because you're so distracted by everything else. An extra bonus one, I could literally have so many lessons. I could probably make a list of about 500. Number 21 is the more you force it, the more likely it's not to happen. This goes for literally everything in your life. Relationships, career, projects, hobbies. The more you force something, the more likely it is to just crumble. And that is from experience. It's not fun. Definitely don't try to force things. Every time I've tried to force something, it has really burned me in the ass. So remember that. Highly doubt anyone's gonna reach the end of this video, but if you took anything away from it, that is my job done, because life is difficult. Like, it's so difficult. The amount of like complications we as humans have made life to be is absolutely exponentially insane. I think it's important to just keep things simple and to just learn from your mistakes, your life lessons, to just remember them. Happy birthday to me. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in my next video. I've been filming videos, I just haven't been following through and making the entire video because I've been doing loads of little projects, like getting to a final result, and it's really irritating. So here we go. We have a video, finally. Yeah, bye.